This is the construct. It's our loading program. We can load anything from clothing to equipment, weapons, training simulations, anything we need.
Right now, we're inside a computer program?
Is it really so hard to believe? Your clothes are different, the plugs in your arms and head are gone. Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know.
Reality is different for each person. It's based on our interpretation. The way we interpret the world around us is through our eyes, ears, skin, nose, and tongue. But since everyone's body is different, there's no possible way we could all interpret the same reality.
In the clip you just saw, the world around Neo was not the real world. It was a simulation that only stimulated Neo's senses to make him feel like he was living in the real world. This is only one example of how easy it is to distort one's reality just by deceiving one's senses. How can we prove this isn't happening to us right now?
The answer is we can't. There's no way of knowing whether or not the world around us is real. This is because the only means we have of interpreting the world around us is our brains. This means that for us, whatever information the brain gives us is reality. But our brains are not without flaw. They can be easily tricked into believing in something that is not real. Our reality is easily distorted.
This is called the Munger-White illusion. The two colors you see on the screen are actually the same. Your eyes trick your brain into thinking they're different because of the position of the black lines on the screen. This is just one of the ways our reality can be distorted. Now watch this. This happens because of the difference in the gradient of the immediate surroundings of each blue bar. Darker surroundings trick you into thinking the blue is lighter, and lighter surroundings trick you into thinking the blue is darker.
Your reality can easily be distorted with your vision, but what about with your hearing? This image shows a sound graph of the shepherd's tone, which can easily trick you into believing the pitch of the sound is changing, but really it's one tone. This is caused by constant inflexes that repeat a lowering pitch. Now let's try distorting your reality with sound. You may think the pitch of this sound is decreasing, however it constantly is the same.
The color on the screen right now is red. There's no disputing that. It is a large group of photons being emitted with a wavelength of about 650 nanometers. If it was 500 nanometers, it'd be blue. 400, it'd be purple. But this is red. That is how we define red. But does red look the same to everyone? Definitely not. What looks red to me could look purple to you, or green, or anything. But how do I know? Like we said earlier, everyone's eyes are different. The interpretation of wavelengths of color differs from person to person. A good example of this is color blindness. People who are colorblind interpret colors wildly different from the rest of us. What they are seeing right now is completely different than what you are seeing. And what you are seeing is completely different than what I am. Everyone sees light differently. Light changes around in a different way for every different eye. Maybe it changes more for me than for you, or vice versa. Either way, when the light gets to the back of our eyes, it's not the same for me as it is for you, even if we both saw the same thing. This means that we can see one thing, but produce two distinctive images.
But what if I told you there was no color, sound, taste, touch, or smell? What if I told you nothing in the universe truly existed but your own brain? Could you prove me wrong? This is called solipsism. It is the theory that nothing in the universe is sure to exist except one's mind. We can conclude for sure that at least your brain exists, because it would have to in order to contemplate its own existence. But it's impossible to prove that anything outside from your mind must exist. Your brain could be running its own simulation, if you will, to distract you from the fact that you're truly alone.
Now think about this. Reality is only what you have come to know. So what if we are missing out on what the universe truly is? There's no way to know unless you yourself discover it. In the allegory of the cave, one man eventually becomes curious and ventures out of the cave. The entirety of his people have come to know that cave as their world. However, in the cave, all they can see is the mere shadow of those above. We know that their 2D world is not the real world. So this man discovers what the world truly is and tries to explain it to his people. They refuse to accept this and eventually try to kill him. This shows us that society is not always ready to accept what reality truly is.
Look who's here.
So are we in the cave? Or did we find our way out? Did the top keep spinning? Or did it fall?